This video is about the basics of mirrors, how to create a mirror. We have a couple different ways to create a mirror, so we'll go over both of those. So a mirror is basically a reflection of a task. That means that a task in Rindle can live on multiple boards at one time and go through multiple workflows at one time. So for example, I can take this task right here, service call for ABC widgets, and let's say I wanted to mirror this onto the field teams board. They also need to see this service call request while it sits on this board as well. So I can go into the menu in the top right corner of the task, click mirror, and then it's going to ask me where do I want to mirror this task to. So I can then select the field teams board. I could then select the list, which I'm going to leave it on the backlog, and I'm going to put it at the bottom. All right, I'm going to go ahead and mirror that. Okay, and now you can see right away I see an icon in the top left corner, the mirror icon. It also shows on the task face here, and it now says I have two mirrors. If I click that, it shows me I have a mirror on the field team board, also here on service requests. So if I go ahead and click over to field team, we can see that field team now has this new request in their backlog, and they see the same exact task as on the service request board. This task is literally the same task and is completely in sync. So any comments, mark complete, changes to due dates, etc. will all reflect on both boards. Okay, I'm going to go back to the service request. The other use case for mirrors is maybe you want to mirror a subtask out of a task, right? So you could take this data imports for widget works, and I can go ahead and open that. And let's say I'm only ready to do the source data file task, but this one's still not ready to get worked on. So we're going to leave the main task in the backlog, but I'm going to pull this one out. So on a subtask level, I can also mirror this. And I'm going to put a reflection of that task into the in progress list of this board. So now the subtask can kind of get mirrored out onto the same board. So here's that subtask now. You'll notice that the mirror icon shows on the task face the same way and also on the subtask item. So when I move that task to done, it will mark the task complete, and it will also reflect in the parent task as complete. If I want to see the mirrors of a subtask, I can do the same thing, click in the subtask, and it will show me the same mirror icon on the top, and I can see where these are mirrored to, and I can see it's a subtask on service request board, and it's also on the parent task on the service request board. You can also create mirrors with an automation. So if I click in automations here, I can create a new rule. And I can say when it gets moved to in progress, let's say. So I'm going to say moved or added task. And if I say in progress on this board, I could then choose to add a mirror the same way I did manually. But I'm going to do it now with an automation. So I'm going to add a mirror. And then I'm going to again select the board. So it's going to be the field team, into the backlog, at the bottom, and that's going to perform the action on itself. All right, so I'm going to enable that rule, and I'm going to go ahead and save it. And now when I go back to the task view here, and I move a task into this area here, so if I just do a test task, when I move it to in progress, it's going to create that mirror automatically for me without me having to manually do it. Okay, there's the icon. It just happened. I opened that task. I can now see where this task is mirrored.